on green, dog.
On green, got it going. Got it going, son.
All right, man. Hey, I'm really digging that fucking shirt you got on. That son bitch is awesome. It says part wolf.
That's it. That's it.
You growling? You ready to go at
Always growling. Always
right,
ready to go.
Always ready to go. Well, we're going to throw something a little bit different at y'all today. We're going to do some phone-in calls.
Oh, yeah. It's a big day. Big day, special day in the Forealdo show world.
Yeah, we're going to have Sammy Hawkins with Dirty... What?
Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana.
That is a tongue twister.
It is. It's a lot. It's a lot to it. You have to get on your HBO on demand, HBO Go, whichever one you got, and search and find and watch Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana.
Yeah, it's a great documentary.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I gotta say, like, it took a little bit for me to get into it, but it pulled me in there at the end, and it don't hurt talking to old Sammy. I mean, you can't. He's a stand up dude.
Yeah, I think so.
Real lovable character.
Yeah.
I like him. Like him a lot.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out what he's all about here in just a few seconds.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, anything new in the world today? Anything you got going on?
Nothing too crazy going on over the weekend. Had a pretty good weekend. Had a pretty good day so far today.
Relax.
Maxing and relaxing, acting all cool, shooting some b-ball outside the school.
As long as you didn't run into those damn couple of guys that was up to no good.
Yep, that'd be making trouble in your neighborhood.
You all right then?
Yeah, but it's not pretty decent, sports weekend so far with the boxing match that shocked the world with old Anthony Joshua getting smoked.
Yeah. What's the NBA Finals looking like? Do you know? Last time I seen it, Raptors was up.
Well, it's actually because we're coming to you from the past and from the future all at the same time. So, but while we're recording, I think Game 2's going on right now, or might have started at 6 or 7.
Oh,
but
shit.
The Raptors is in the up 1-0.
Yeah.
Now them and Drake handed the Warriors their first loss of the series.
Awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, all right, man. Well, let me go and get this phone call in. Let's do this Sammy real quick.
All right.
Let's see what he's all about.
Got it. Enjoy, kids.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Living the dream. You?
Oh, I'm just relaxing after a long day's work, man. Living the dream. I'm just glad my feet hit the floor every day.
I got you. So we both have watched the documentary, and we both, So give me the rundown of it. Are there anything that you kind of wish that you hadn't have done, or how did the documentary treat you?
Well, it was all right. I don't feel as though HBO done me right, but hell, I pretty much lined out the show for them. They called me and asked me if I was interested in doing it. They had me gather everybody together that I thought would, make for an interesting documentary. The interesting people at the track.
Right.
When we first started doing it, they wanted me and Wild Willie Kaufman to be enemies. And I said, man, if it ain't real, I don't want to do it.
Oh, yeah, good call.
I said, we need to do it the right way, what actually happens at the track.
Right.
I said, Willie Kaufman and I, we've been friends for a long time. I said, and I ain't going to, I'm not going to get out there and pretend like, and run into him on purpose. Now, Billy Riddle, I couldn't stand that little son of a bitch. So I took him out. I did that because, he trashed a couple of my cars. He was always wrecking people out there, and I still don't like him. I see him all the time. I still don't like him.
Right.
But I done a lot for them people, man. I got all the people together. I talked to all the people. I'm the one that talked to Dawson, the guy that owns the racetrack, to allow us to even have Dirty Driving filmed out there.
Right.
And never got a plug nickel from HBO. Nothing.
Really?
Wow, and pretty much that's like all the legwork, man. I mean, all they had to do was show up and turn the cameras on. Pretty much, you had everything, pretty much everything set up. If that's the case.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. And they made it sound like, oh yeah, this flies off the handle and it does good. We're going to do a series, blah blah blah. And once they got that aired, in fact, it's still on HBO on demand. It's still on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I as a matter of fact, Terry had enlightened me to it, and I had never seen it, and didn't know too much about it at all, man. And I watched it today. As a matter of fact, that was what I told him. I said, if we can get our setup and we're gonna have Sammy on, let me sit down and watch it and see what it's about. But man, I gotta say that's a bummer how they handled everything. I mean, and especially from after watching the documentary, just how like everything was in Anderson anyway. Like you can't come into a place like that and get everybody's hopes up and this and that. I mean, like, it's like you've been through enough, for somebody from the outside to come in and pretty much just kind of blow smoke up your ass for a little while about how everything's going to go. That's
Yep.
We feel you 100% on that. I mean,
Yeah, we're both from small towns.
Yeah, coming up right here in South Alabama, everybody that comes from, wherever they're coming from in HBO, whether it be New York or Los Angeles or somewhere like that, we don't get really taken all that seriously, and they don't really put in our feelings into account on stuff.
Man, that's all right. I don't really give a shit how people look at me. I work hard for a living, and just like y'all. I mean, we got to do what it takes to make a living, and for some big shot person out of New York City, 'cause that's where they came from. That's where. The only thing they did do, they flew me to New York, and I got to watch the premiere. I got to see it before anybody did. There was nobody else there. They just flew me out there and put me up in a room. I had a limo, drove me around or whatnot. Made me feel like a big shot for a few days, and then flew me back. And that's the last thing I ever heard from them.
Oh man, yeah, man. As we like to call it, gave you the old full court press for a weekend.
Did they at least buy you supper?
Oh, they bought my dinner. They fed me, and then they did the premiere, and it was in a big auditorium, and there was people from different HBO shows, and a bunch of big shots from around there. And some lady named Nancy Abrams that runs HBO, she was in there, or that run was in charge of the show itself, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then John Alford, he was there. He was a producer director of Dirty Driving.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, they said, well, when we're done with the show, we're going to need you to get up in front of the auditorium and do a Q&A. I'm like, what? And they said, you got to get in front of all these people in here, and they might have questions, and you got to give them some answers if you would. And right. I said, okay. And they said, well, we got an open bar in here. And I said, where's it at? I went and got about half lit and went and watched the show and laughed my ass off. And then they told me, hey, it's time for a Q&A with Sammy Hawkins. And I went down. I felt good after that. I was fine.
Right.
Didn't have a problem with it. But I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy doing Dirty Driving. Doing the show, I had a blast.
Right. They got your name out there. They got your name out there.
Yeah, I did that. I had a blast. And all my, my friends that was in the show, like Alice Ryle, the female that was racing there.
Yes, sir.
And then you had that dingbat that drove the guy right into the corner. I don't.
Was it
Chantel Banks?
Chantel, yeah. That we were talking about that earlier before we got you on the phone. We were, just refreshing on some of the other names and stuff, and pulling up like a quick promo of it, and on YouTube or on the internet, and looking at that, and that's what me and Terry were going back and forth naming everybody off, and I was like, oh man. I said, I forgot to even say something about the wreck, that the Chantel girl was like was like behind on. I was like, wow, she just killed a guy. I was
Yeah.
like, this documentary just took a turn.
Well, I shit you not, when I was coming around the track, and I'm like, oh no, and I was freaking out when it happened. What they didn't show in the movie was his helmet rolling down the track.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, the only thing that was going through my mind was, I hope his damn head ain't in that helmet.
Oh, I was about to say the same
it was
thing.
bad.
It was rough because which she says it in the show, like she got into the back of his car and then like literally told, whoever in her pits when she got out, like, oh, I just braced and just closed my eyes. And I was like, well, that's why she almost drove him out of the track when they hit the wall, because she's not looking.
Oh yeah, she drove him right into that corner of the pit, and I'm like, I thought he was dead.
yeah.
When it happened, I thought they was going to say he was dead. They stopped the race. We sit out there on the track for, I know, every bit of 45 minutes to an hour, just sitting there waiting on him to extract him out of the car.
Yeah. I mean, I felt just watching it for the first time, like with not really any attachment or anything like that. I was about ready to cheer when they got him out of the car and his eyes are open and he's looking around. I was like, oh my God. And then the next day, like he's at Wild Willie's and they're looking at the car. And
Yeah.
I mean, seems a little stove up, but I was like, oh my God, talk about a hard ass. I was like, this guy's just walking around the car looking at it. I figured he'd be in traction for, at least a month after a wreck like that.
Oh shit, we've climbed in them cars with broken ribs. When I first started racing, I raced figure eight for 3 years, never drove an oval race for 3 years.
Wow.
And I drove an old Delta 88 two-door in the figure eight race. I come through the crossover, somebody hit me, and my door had a little gap in it, and somebody didn't take the trim off their car. The trim came through the door and stabbed into my leg.
Oh my God.
Man.
Yeah. I finished the race and climbed out of the car and had to pull that piece of trim out of the edge of my leg. It pierced my leg.
Oh, man.
I was pissed off, too, trying to find who the hell that trim belonged to.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Oh.
So are you still racing currently, or are there anything,
No,
race-wise?
I got a divorce from that nut that was in the movie. We ended up, after, having 2 children. I got Rosalind and Jared. And, she wasn't good news. And I ended up divorcing her. I got custody of my 2 kids. I was single for a few years, and then I ran into another gal named Lindsay. And she's a good one. I got married to her. And I was just wanting to spend more time with my family, be able to do more.
Right.
So I decided it was time for me to hang up the helmet for a while. I'm not saying one day I might not jump back in a damn car, because I probably will. But I sold my car, bought me a pontoon, and we've been doing a lot of fishing and camping and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been seeing you on Facebook. Y'all been catching any catfish or anything up there?
Not yet this year. Last year, well, we catch them every year, but we haven't caught anything here yet because of the damn weather. It's been all screwed up. So
Right.
I'm off this week. I'm doing a little work to the kitchen. My wife, her and my 2 daughters ripped it out today and got it ready for me to put down new flooring and everything. But
There
I'm
you
taking
go.
a break some of this time, and I'm going to go out there in the boat for a while and do some fishing.
There you go.
Oh yeah, man. Probably well earned and well deserved.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So what about the job situation and all that up there in Anderson? I know they closed down all those plants and stuff. What's the rundown on that place now?
Well, there's more jobs moved back to Anderson. They've got a Nestle plant. They've got a NTK bearing plant here, a drive shaft plant here, 2 plastics plants. I mean, things started growing back up a little bit. The job situation's better. I found a job actually making almost as much as what I was making at Firestone.
Right.
So I'm doing really well. I mean, I'm still doing maintenance, and right now I'm second in seniority at the plant. And the maintenance department over where I'm working at. It's a place called Ketter here in Anderson,
Right.
and I like it. I mean, it can be a pain in the ass like any place else, but
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that's like that anywhere. Well, I'm
oh,
glad you're doing good, man.
Yeah,
Glad
doing
you're
pretty
doing
good.
good.
definitely. How's like a so are they still is the track still real big in Anderson? Is it is it still up and going and all that it used to be?
No, it's still up and going, but it ain't nothing like it used to be. Back when we were doing dirty driving, it was pretty well packed, and right before that, it was pretty well packed. But I think the track owner got a little greedy. He's ran a lot of the drivers awful. He's another one of the reasons why I pulled out. Me, my little brother, and my cousin had went out there, or my nephew had went out there one weekend to race, and we built our cars by the rules. I try to stay within the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So we, you ain't cheating if they don't catch you. That's
That's right.
So we took our cars out there and started practicing and everything. Well, we noticed some of these cars pulled up next to us. They sounded awful beefy. Well, we get back to the pits, and I guess they had changed the rules without telling everybody and just allowed whoever the hell wanted to bring wherever the hell they wanted to. So we didn't have a chance in the world of keeping up with them. And I told my brother, I said, that's it. I've had it with this shit. I put my car on the trailer, and we loaded them up and took them out of there.
Shoot, man.
Wow.
Well,
and what about somebody else I wanted to check up on? Your buddy in the show that was the crew chief for one of the guys, Brandon, I think.
Brandon Tompkins.
Yeah. How's he doing?
Well, you could call Madison County Jail and ask him.
Oh no.
That's where he's at right now. Him and that crazy ass that he was with. I won't go into that one, but she's not doing too good her damn self.
right.
Shauna, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, and he seemed like the level-headed one out of the pair. In the show, she seemed like they had their night out, and she got a little loose, and he seemed like he was trying to keep it straight and keep it cool. That's what I told Terry. I said that guy kind of didn't steal the show. I said, but he kind of chewed a lot of it up for me. I was like, I said, even though he wasn't a driver, I said, I liked Sammy's buddy that was the crew chief and all that. So he seemed like a pretty cool guy.
Well, he went the wrong direction in life.
Oh man,
I hate to hear that, man.
yeah, that's terrible. That's
So
terrible.
so how's the rest of the crew that was on the?
Wall Willie lives in Arkansas now. Him and Jackie, the one that said, "Oh, he's pissed off now," that
Right.
they moved to Arkansas. Billy Riddle, I don't think he's in jail now, but he's usually in jail.
That's not a shock right there.
He don't live far from me either. Old son of a bitch goes across the street over all the time when we're over buying a pop or something. He tried to sell my wife some damn steaks one day, come up to the house till he figured out whose house it was, and he didn't come back. He didn't try to sell steaks no more. Alice Ryle moved to Tennessee. She's a good gal.
Oh yeah. That's why I was impressed with her. That's why I told Terry she was even kind of getting screwed there at the end in the final race. She was total class act about it. That's what I told Terry. I was like, I've never seen anybody do a better job of like eloquently laying out like some shit talking to somebody at the end of a race.
Oh yeah,
gave him his congratulations and his good job, and then hit him a little bit about cutting the tires and said, "But good for you, buddy," and walked off.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, man. I love her to death. I wish she hadn't moved away.
Yeah,
I was hoping she would get that damn championship that night. That's another reason. I put Billy in the wall. That was by my choice. I can't stand that son of a bitch. And I promised him I was going to get him, and I told him I was going to get him what hurt him the most. Well, what better time than championship night?
Yeah, and him having a good night too. I mean, kind of running off and leaving it for a little while there. That was, regardless where you finished in the points, Sammy, you was number one in our hearts after that one right there. I mean, that guy seemed to be, we don't know him personally, but definitely was portrayed as and seemed to be a world-class dick in the documentary.
Oh, he is a dick. He's still a dick. He ain't changed.
Still a dick.
Yeah, and what's bad is even when is that like was that like his dad that was like his crew chief or whatever that was helping him out?
Yeah. That's his dad, and then his mom was that white-headed lady.
Yeah.
I get along with her, but his dad, he can't stand me.
Yeah, well, that's what killed me is his dad backs him up, but then, before the final race, when it showed the in-between stuff, like them working on the car and everything else, it's like his dad knows. He's like, if you'd shut up and quit running your mouth and pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, are there anything in the documentary that you didn't like about it, the way they portrayed you or anything like that?
Well, yeah, you remember the part in the movie when we were sitting, they kind of tried to dumb us down a little bit, and that kind of pissed me off a little bit.
I seen that.
I'm far from being stupid. Hell, I went to college. I've got, 25, 26 years in the maintenance field. No, I'm no dumbass, but when we was in the sitting over at Tompkins' house, that damn HBO dude, he's the one who put that question on me. He said, ask him if he can see out of that glass eye. I'm like, I'm not stupid, you dumbass. I know he can't see out of that eye. I said, I've seen him have it out,
Right.
And he said, well, just ask him. Well, they try to dumb us all down, man. Every damn one of us, they tried to make us look like a bunch of hicks. Yeah, we're rednecks, we're hillbillies, but
right.
That don't make us stupid. There ain't nothing wrong with the damn hillbilly.
Well, I can tell you this, man. I've been to Indiana a few times, and it's the most northern state there is. I mean, if that makes any sense.
That makes damn good sense.
Yeah, I love it up there, man.
There's people from Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri. In fact, my family are all from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri.
Right.
My mom's side of the family was from Tennessee and Kentucky. And my dad's side of the family's from Kentucky, Missouri, and I forgot Arkansas. So we got family all over the damn place, and every one of them's got hillbillies in it. So
there you go. Well, especially if you get around Kentucky. I have stayed the night.
Yeah.
I have stayed the night in Kentucky before, and it was a girl I was seeing at the time. And the dude had an outhouse. Now this is back in the early 2000s, and he had a pump on the damn handle, like to get you had to fetch water. You had to he didn't have no running water inside the house.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no shit, man. And no air conditioner. It was in the damn middle of damn July. I slept right beside that damn window.
Oh man.
It was hot, man.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh shit.
So fun stuff. All right, Sammy. Are there any more questions we got for old Sammy there?
No, man, I think that's about got it covered. Just catching up on how things were in Anderson and how everybody's doing and all that.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yep, glad everybody's doing all right except for the few that's in jail.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. As a wise man once told me, you're gonna have some of that on a big job. So.
You are.
Oh yeah.
You are. Yep. But yeah, are there anything that you kind of wish they left that they would have put in that they left out? Because I know there was a lot more filming going on.
Yeah, everything. You always hear about a lot of juicy stuff or good stuff getting left on the cutting room floor. That whether it's time or I guess flow of the story or something like that they leave out. What was there anything you can think of that was filmed and you knew was in but they left out of the original documentary?
Yeah, the threats that the track owners made towards HBO for the filming during the wreck when Timmy Nickerson got in that wreck when Chantel shoved into the wall. I wish they'd have left some of that in there. I also set up a night for New Year's Eve. We filmed New Year's Eve out at it was called Cooper's Sports Bowl back then, but now it's called, what's it called now, honey? Now it's called Championship Lanes, but they had a bar in there called the Grapevine. And yeah, called Blaze now. But anyway, they paid for us a New Year's meal, drinks, all kinds of shit. And, they told us, bring everybody here. And then I had a limo driver picked me, Roy Grissom, Wall Willie, all of us up in a limo. And we had our New Year's bash there so we could get trashed and get a ride home. They didn't film none of it. They filmed it all and didn't put one piece of it in the movie.
Oh, they wanted to act like everybody just hated each other.
Yeah,
is what they wanted.
Yeah, that would have ruined their rivalry storyline right there. Because I just knew
Billy Riddle wasn't there.
Yeah,
If he'd have been there, he'd have got his ass beat. But he didn't. Billy Riddle wasn't there.
Did you invite him?
Oh hell no, I didn't invite him.
I would damn invited him.
I probably should have rethought that. Invited him, whooped his ass. We wouldn't have to worry about him on the track.
It would have made it on the damn documentary. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, he never would have made it past Wild Willie's old lady if he would have came.
Oh hell no,
in
Jackie's
there.
mean, man. You don't want to piss her off.
I could tell. I could definitely tell.
Well, all right. Well, good stuff, man. Anything else you want to add to it?
Well, if one day they might come back and ask again. I don't know whether I'd tell them to kiss my ass or what, but I'm still pissed off at HBO because they done me wrong, and I've tried to contact and talk to them. I don't know how many times they ignore me.
Right.
So if anybody out there on the radio hears this and knows anything about them, give HBO hell for the way they've done some hometown folks, because they really stuck it in my ass, and it pisses me off they done me that way. And just totally turned their backs after it was done and over with. But I enjoy Dirty Driving. I enjoy all my fans that I still talk to on Facebook all the time.
And I'm one of them.
Well, I appreciate that. I've got time for my fans. I'm not big-headed. I'm still a small-town guy that, just happened to be lucky enough to get into an HBO documentary, and I ended up being the lead in the whole show, but I enjoyed it. And, just, I don't know what else to say about it other than
they fucked you.
It's a part of my life, man. It's a part of my life. Part of me.
I got you, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your time, and we're going to go ahead and cut it off.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
All
we'll
right,
talk to you
Sammy.
next time, Sammy.
You take it easy, man.
All right, you guys take it easy.
All right, thank you.
All right, sir.
All right, bye.
All right, man. That was a great fella, man.
Awesome interview.
Yeah, he was a good guy, man.
It's it's like we had talked about. He brought me like full circle on the. I was skeptical as shit watching it, and I was like, I don't know if I give a shit about this or nothing. But like I said, the documentary draws you in, and Sammy hits it home. He's a cool cat.
Yeah, seemed like a good, hard working individual.
Good, hard working, relatable.
Yeah.
Just good, honest guy.
Yeah, it looks like he can be rough around the edges sometimes.
I think they.
But that's just a good old, good guy.
I think they come from a place where you got to be a little rough around the edges. Anyway, to make it.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, it was good, man. I'm glad we talked at him.
Yeah, it was good. Hope everybody else enjoyed it. Oh, I'm still fucking digging that damn shirt, man. Fucking part wolf. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a podcast shirt, and it's gonna have like part wolf on the front, our logo on the back.
just straight up. I think this is either Chive or Buy Me Brunch. I don't know. I don't know if they've got it copyrighted or.
I mean, they ain't got the part wolf copyrighted.
No.
I mean,
they don't own the rights to part or wolf, bro.
Yeah. We just get a fucking whole wolf on that. So.
whole wolf or all wolf.
Or we can take right there in the P, take the middle part of the P out so it says fart wolf.
Somebody, I think it was like one of Christina's aunts one time or something when I was wearing this shirt.
Thought it said
She was like, "Oh my God, I love that shirt." And then so I straightened it out so she could see it. And she was like, "Oh, it says Part Wolf. I thought it said Fart Wolf when I saw it." And I was like, "I wish it did now." I was like, "That's a pretty awesome shirt."
We're making them.
Yeah.
We're making them.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Forealdo show Fart Wolf.
Fart Wolf.
We could have somebody dress up in a costume like our local radio station around here does, and be like, "Come meet." You got that. I'm not even gonna name what it is, but also we're gonna have the Fart Wolf on site too. And we're gonna hand out little plush fart wolves for the kiddies.
We ain't gonna hand out no money like they do though.
No. Hell no.
Oh, speaking of that, you ever seen that movie One Crazy Summer?
Yes.
All right, my mother.
Oh, the
dude that does the radio call.
Yeah,
and
the uncle.
He's always like sitting there smoking cigarettes and stuff, sitting there waiting on the call to come in.
Yeah.
Well, my mama's got that disease somewhat. She fucking loves listening to that damn radio station. She tries to win the big money all the time.
Oh man!
And then the girl we know actually won.
Coworker of mine. Yeah, won some big money.
Yeah,
I mean, she's won the little money like a couple of times, but won
legit.
Yeah.
If anybody needed it, she needed
Oh
it.
yeah, big time.
So I was actually kind of excited for her to. Actually,
oh yeah. It's hard to. It was hard to be mad about that one. Yeah. Even if you was in the running, wasn't you?
I was.
Yeah,
I was in the running.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even have my cash card or anything like that. And they my mama called. Hey, they just got to calling out your number. So I'm like, okay. So I called in. They was like, hey, what's your number? I was like, hold on just a second. Hold that call and call my mama and ask what the damn number was. While I was on live radio, man.
Oh man.
So, but I won that $100.
Yeah. So, oh shit.
But
that's
yeah,
good.
shout out to Michelle.
Mm-hmm. That's
winning that all that money.
That's it. The glue that holds our fine company together.
That's it.
Oh man.
But speaking of that, hell, I had a good time this weekend. I forgot to mention it before we talked to Sammy.
Yeah.
Went out trading jobs, starting a new job.
Yep.
My last job with my old company was Wednesday. And so me and the fam booked up on a truck and went down to Panama City Beach.
Yeah.
Again. And had a great time. Weather was beautiful. Ocean was phenomenal. Caught. I think me and my oldest girl, we went out there at night, Ellery. We caught, the first night we caught 4. And then the second night we caught 8. Like large crabs.
Wow. Like eating size.
Eating size.
Wow.
Could have kept them and ate them if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Came back today.
Yeah, little Elrod ain't gonna let you eat no crabs.
No. But she does love them little crab claws you get up there. Give you a holler out over at Billy Seafood down there in Panama City. Them son of bitches got it going on now.
That's it. Shout out Billy Seafood sponsorship possibility right here.
Yeah, maybe
you really ain't got to pay us shit, just as long as we don't have to pay shit when we come and see y'all. That would be a fair trade.
Yes, get some advertising opportunities here.
That's it.
Yeah, we always go to eat at Billy's every time.
If you advertise with us, we can get the message of your restaurant out to tens of people.
There you go. Hey, but all joking aside, hell, we was sitting there and I done had a few beers and I stood up and I turned around and looked. I said, "Damn, I know those folks." I mean, they was sitting right behind me the whole time.
Directly behind you.
Directly behind me.
Oh man.
Pat and Donna.
Oh yeah. Clark's in the house. Yeah.
Yep. I was like, "Hey, how y'all doing?"
Yep.
So yeah, shout out to them too.
Yep.
They always eat Billy's.
That's the old in-laws, right? Soon to be in-laws.
Oh, they
in-laws. We've been family for a while.
Yeah, you toothbrushes over here, so it counts.
That's it.
Yep. So what else you got, man? You got anything else? You got a phenomenal phone call with Sammy here.
Yeah.
I tell you what, let's shake up some shit.
Keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. We're good friends with Alabamarado podcast.
Your favorite rapper's favorite podcast.
That's it. So let's call Frank up and see what the fuck he's got to say.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, I'm gonna make him tell me a damn good ass story. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make him tell me the
One of
time.
his wild ass. Wait, he's either Evil DeGray or Frank Knievel.
That's it.
One of the other ones.
But I'm gonna actually decide which one I want him to tell me. I think I'm gonna get the one where he breaks both of his ankles at the same time rock climbing. That's an awesome story.
Jesus Christ, and missed movie opportunities after that.
Oh yeah, man, that's great. But anyway, y'all enjoy this. It's gonna be a hoot. I don't know how long it's gonna be on the phone because we always, whenever we talk to Frank, it's always gonna be a long time.
Oh yeah, man.
And Grant, if you're listening, man, I'm sorry, man. It's just we're kind of short on time.
Yeah,
But,
I wanted to call and talk to you, but Terry was like, "Man, fuck that guy."
Yeah, your damn joke telling today got me off kiltered.
Oh shit.
So yeah, all right, let's call that motherfucker up and see what the hell he's doing.
Hells yeah. Come on in, satellite.
Hello.
What's up, you old commie bastard?
Housekeeping, you want towel?
Have y'all ever called housekeeping so much while you're staying at a hotel that they stop bringing you things?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
It doesn't take much, but you make about 3 calls in
That's
a night.
3. That's it.
They
3,
put
that's
you
it.
on the list.
That's it.
And they say that drunk son of a bitch in room 1405 doesn't get anything else. They put you on the no towel list.
you get housekeeping blacklisted.
Yeah, dude. You can dry your balls off with the floor mat after that. You're not getting fresh nothing. What are y'all doing?
Recording an episode, man. What you doing?
Oh, nice. I've just been driving around looking for mud puddles to drive through.
I heard you got a lot of them up there.
Yeah, man, we had a fucking monsoon today. I mean, then my cousin just texted me a little bit ago. He's in Bay Minette, Alabama, and he said that it was, what did he say? He said it was like all hyphenated, ball stuck to your leg, hot down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar with that. I remember that.
Yeah, it's just early for this hotness, man.
It's been at about 95 at least and holding for about, almost 2 weeks now?
Yeah. Yeah. I think today got up to, 102?
Yeah. It was pretty
that's
rough
gonna be
today.
a no for me, dog. That's going to be a no.
Yeah, everybody and their brother been calling about damn air conditioners.
Yeah, man, you got to make a run for the water when it gets like this.
I told him, I said, there ain't nothing I can do. Just put a sprinkler on top of your house.
If it gets too bad, just run on through it a couple times.
Terry just been riding the roads handing out like those vote for Pedro placards or something. Just fan your ass off with that.
There you go.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, I ain't getting in no fucking attic. That's for damn sure. Too hot.
Oh man.
Yeah. So wait, you start that tomorrow?
I start a new job tomorrow. Yep.
Ooh. Are you nervous? Like it's your first date?
Yeah. I'm kind of getting that vibe a little bit, but I think it's gonna get a little worse as I wake up in the morning. I might actually have to take a big old massive shit beforehand just make sure I don't shit on myself.
Oh, good old pregame shit.
Yeah, the kind that floats, the side little chunks just floating up everywhere.
Yeah, that's the just before kickoff. Gotta take a growler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, because that shit don't kick in until you get everything buckled and strapped on and laced up, and then it's like, oh shit.
Oh, it's happening now. It's happening.
Yeah. So what's new? What you got for us, man? I heard you had a story to tell us.
I mean, I don't really have. I mean, I got plenty of stories, but I don't have like a particular one in mind.
Oh, I do. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear the ankle break story.
Okay, which ankle break? Because I've done that a couple times.
Listen,
the one that you broke 2 at the same time.
Yeah, I got a twofer. That happened. You want the short version? How much time y'all got left?
We got hours.
Oh yeah, man. We got all night. Go ahead and hit us with that hitter, that 2 ankle hitter.
Let me think. This would have been in 2005. It was February, like 24th or 25th. But it was It was unseasonably warm in Boulder, Colorado. I was living out here. I was a student at CU Boulder, and I was failing classes and skipping classes a bunch and not going to classes and generally finding excuses to get out of classes.
Hell yeah.
And so I went.
But
It was like a Thursday.
you was also paying for those classes.
Right. So that's where the Frank's a dumbass comes into play.
Oh man, at CU Boulder. I mean, I did that shit for a semester in junior college, but I mean that ended up just like maybe eating up $1,000.
Yeah, I didn't learn my lesson for a while. But so I one of my professors canceled classes, so I was out like there's a mountain behind Boulder up in the foothills called Mount fucking I don't remember what it's called. Starts with a CH and it ends with a bunch of consonants.
Cyanide.
Yeah.
Mount Sinai.
I was about to say, I got to get a bumper sticker or a T-shirt from Mount, I don't know, whatever the fuck it's called.
And they need to change it to Mount Franklin's because it broke both of my shit. But so I was skip class, go out there probably like, I don't know, 10:30, 11. I'll park at the trailhead and I'm walking around.
Are you by yourself?
Like, yeah. So here's the problem. By myself, no cell phone service. And then this is '05. So like there aren't smartphones. Like I had a Sprint flip phone that you could barely text on. And when you did text, it was like, you want to type anything, you tap the number three times and you get like an F.
Oh man, this was
Yeah.
like pre T9.
Oh dude, yeah, this was back in the day. And so I'm walking around by myself out there, and I was thinking to I'm just gonna go for a walk. It's fucking pretty. I don't got class today, and I'm walking around, and there's this rock we always used to climb up and down, and it's easy. This isn't like technical climbing with ropes and shit. This is like, oh, I can get a little bit high and like go sit on the top of that rock. That's what the kind of rock it was.
Okay.
But I wasn't high that day. I was stone cold sober as a judge by myself. Climbed up this rock a couple times, and then you know how they say like, oh, when you lose your keys, it's always the last place you look. Yeah, no shit, because you're not going to keep looking after you find them. Well, that saying is also true for when you fall off a rock and land on another rock and break both ankles, because it's the last time you climb up it that you break your ankles.
That's right.
Because you can't really climb back up it after you've fallen off. So I'm up on this fucking rock, and I should have just stopped where I was, because there's a ledge that you can kind of walk all the way back to the actual slope and just get down. But I was like, no, I think I can like reach up high enough. This is my cool rock climber voice. I can just like reach up higher, grab that spot up there, and then I can like, get to the very top.
Cheer, bro. Cheer.
Yeah, I fucking lose that handhold, and then my other hand, I'm kind of like spinning real slow. So my back was to the wide open sky, and then I'm slowly spinning, and my back is now to the rock, but my wrist can only turn so far, and eventually that's gonna have to let go. And I was like, possibly I can land back on this little like 8-inch ledge that I can stand on, but my toes are pointed the wrong way, and I miss the ledge and fall, I don't know, 35 feet.
Oh, man.
And fucking, that's just enough time to like really think about like, oh, is this the end? Is this happening? Your boy is going out. Like, I had time to like spot the landing, like swirl my arms a couple times, like say a Hail Mary, like praise Allah, that's about to happen. And then like I didn't hit actual rock, but I hit like a thin layer of dirt over actual rock, and like tuck and roll and fucking tumble down this hill for a ways. And I'm laying there, and I didn't pass out, and I didn't get knocked out, which is good. The ambulance drivers were like, you got to have a concussion. That's not normal. You're probably concussed. And I was like, I mean, I might be. Y'all can give me some drugs if you want. Like, no, we don't give you drugs for a concussion, sir. Like, well, it's worth the shot.
It's okay.
But,
what do you hand them out for? Because I'm pretty sure I have that.
Oh yeah, I got all of that. So, but I'm laying flat on my back, and like everything's hurting, so I don't know really like what just happened. But I can't breathe. And I felt like, oh, I definitely broke my ribs because I tucked my knees up when I hit, and it felt like my kneecaps poked through my fucking rib cage. So I thought I broke ribs. Turns out I just knocked the air out of myself. And so I'm feeling my ribs and like, no, I'm good. My hands work. My arms don't. None of those bones are broken. Like, I think I might have made it out okay. Like, my head's not bleeding. I might be good. Like, once I catch my breath, holy shit. And then I look down. Like, you know, when you're laying in bed in the morning and you look down and you can see your toes pointing straight up? Well, I don't see any toes.
Oh.
All I see is just I just see like kneecaps, and then my jeans kind of go flat. And I was like,
shit.
oh, that's not good. And I had fucking powdered up all the bones in my ankle, and my feet were just laying flat on the ground while I was laying flat on the ground.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I realized that was the case, and I was like, well, all right, this won't be that bad. What I can do is just like wait for someone to walk by, and then I'll like yell at them down the hill if they pass on the trail, and they'll come like help me out. And then nobody's walking, nobody's out there. I realized like I haven't seen one person in like 4 hours today. It's gonna get dark soon. Like, that's a bad plan, Frank. Let's regroup. So I start like army crawling back to the trailhead. Like, wasn't that far? It's probably maybe like a half mile. It's
Oh
a
my
mountain.
God.
It's not like a fucking Walmart parking lot. Like, there's rocks and there's a barbed wire fence and there's patches of snow, and my fucking ankles are wobbling back and forth. Like, I can't use them. So I'm like just crawling like one little elbow tug at a time. It took almost till dark to get back to the car, and then I was driving a little Honda Guinea, and it
The
had
same one, the green one.
Yeah. You remember that car?
Oh yeah.
And because I had a Cadillac and it got stolen. That's a different story. I'll tell y'all that.
It wasn't a Cadillac Broham, was it?
It's a Merlot Broham.
He knows what I'm talking about whenever I said fucking Broham.
I had this little Honda that was my daily driver, and had an e-brake, and I just used it to coast down the hill. Saw a mailman doing his rounds, and I was like, hey, brother, you got cell phone service out here? Because I think I broke both of my legs. And he was all like flustered. It was late in the day, and he was just like, I don't really have time for this. And then he looked down, and I've got like these bloody stumps coming out of my jeans. He's like, oh, you really did? Okay, yeah, we'll get the 911 out here.
What's wrong with you, son? Are you drinking drugs?
Yeah, exactly. You been smoking reefer? No, sir. And so, yeah, ambulance showed up, and then the rest was, you know, just regular hospital shit.
Oh man,
that was the first time. Yeah, that was a bad day. That was a bad, I don't know, maybe a Tuesday or Thursday. I feel like it was maybe a Thursday, because I started thinking to myself like, shit, man, if I sit around here waiting for someone else to come, it's gonna be like tomorrow afternoon.
Well,
when people get out of class.
Just think, man, if you hadn't have broke those damn ankles, man, me and you would have never met.
You know what? That's 100% true, because I was still on my mom's insurance, so I'm shipped back to Alabama to do all of my like physical therapy and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't have gone to Auburn.
Yep.
I would have flunked out of CU.
Oh man, that shit's like
almost flunking out of Auburn.
You should
pretty good.
You should sell the rights to this shit to, like, you know, so James Franco can make a movie about it.
Here's the thing. No bullshit. So I'm laid up in the hospital bed for a couple days, and I start to think like, damn, man, like I went through some shit. Like, that's pretty awesome. I should like write this down and see what's up. And then I get on a plane, come back to Alabama, like go to have a couple surgeries, and then I'm doing my PT. And maybe 2 weeks later, that fucking dude in Utah gets a rock pinned on his arm, cuts his own fucking arm off. And so I'm sitting in a wheelchair for 10 weeks with my legs elevated, and I'm like, he cut his arm off? All I did was crawl around in the mud a little bit, And this asshole has a way cooler story now. I'm not gonna be able to do shit. James Franco's not gonna play me in a movie. He's gonna play that dickhead.
Checkmate, Swagger
Yeah,
Jack.
man. Old fucking Utah nub arm beat me to the punch. Could not believe it.
That's still a great story, though, man.
It's not bad. And plus, I'll give it to him, though. He was out there for, what was it, like 127 hours?
Yeah, I think, yeah. 'Cause
I was
that's
out there for like maybe 4 hours. So.
Yeah, that's about the length of a good movie.
Right.
I'm seeing like Stone James Franco, like with script in each hand, like weighing out, do I want to do 127 hours or 4 hours in Boulder?
Or just 4, yeah, like in a nice scenic area of Boulder. Yeah. I might have could have pitched it to him. You're right.
Yeah, that would be a damn pretty good movie.
Exactly, or maybe his little brother would have done it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that'd
so
be hilarious if those two dudes started doing like competing movies where like James Franco did Spring Breakers and then Dave Franco is like, oh yeah, well fuck that, I'm doing like the story of Kid Rock, and he braids his hair up in Detroit. Like anytime one of them puts a movie out, the other one tries to top him.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, because they were together in the Disaster Artist, the one about Tommy Wiseau about the room.
Yeah.
Hi, Greg.
That shit is wild. That's one of those movies that, like, I don't even know how that had legs to get going, and it made that dude famous again.
It was all like did you watched them? Didn't you watch them both, Terry, or did you just watch the Disaster Artist?
I think I just watched this at Disaster Artist. So what was the other one?
Well, the Disaster Artist is about The Room. Like it's about the movie. That was an actual movie that Franco made the movie about. Because at the end, it shows the real guy, and it lines up scenes from the Disaster Artist with the actual scenes from The Room. And
from The Room.
Like old dude actually like falls apart on the roof and then turns around and goes, "Oh, hi, Greg." And then keeps on doing his thing.
Hi, Greg.
Oh my God. It was the best. I remember like when it came out, and I don't listen to it as much anymore, but I was listening to a podcast, like an Earwolf podcast called How Did This Get Made? And they had like, just shit on random shitty movies like once a month or something.
And that was one they definitely shit on.
When they did this one, they had James Franco, Little Franco, and Tommy Wiseau like there for the live episode of them talking about the Disaster Artist and The Room. Like it was like their big production. And I was like, talk about a golden egg just like landing in your lap when you do that for a living.
Yeah, holy shit.
Because it is a pile of shit movie, and it is a guy who loves to hang out and laugh with everybody about how shitty his movie is.
That's what's crazy to me. Like, I guess he's either like the best troll in Hollywood and it paid off in the long run, or like, does he know that everyone didn't like that movie he made? He knows that, right?
He's a fucking alien, man. It's like,
I think you're right, dude. I think he is from another fucking dimension.
Whether it's like Clendatu or wherever, like him and Elon Musk and a couple of other cats were hanging out there like years ago, and they came here like maybe 20, 30 years ago.
Yep.
Just showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the honors to be on a podcast with Sammy Hawkins. You remember that dude?
Sammy Hawkins.
Yeah.
No.
You remember that? You remember that documentary movie that we watched up there in Auburn? Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana, and they drove that bus around the track with all the kids in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We just did what we do. Like, did we even do 30 minutes?
It was 25.
Yeah, about 25 minutes with old Sammy.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit, man.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, man, cool guy. I mean, cool fucking guy. He could have been like old Sammy that like grew up like across the tracks from me in Slocum my whole life. Like that was. It sounded just like talking to somebody from back home.
Yeah.
That is wild. I do remember that shit. That was. And at one point, weren't they? They were like, they either had school buses or like RVs or.
No,
or
they did like first they had like tricked out like race school buses that almost looked like demolition derby buses, and they raced a
yeah,
fucking figure eight with
Yeah.
school
yeah,
buses.
figure eight buses, and they'll run right through the fucking middle of another
Yeah,
bus.
and then after the figure eight, they bring back out like 4 or 5 of the buses and fill them up with children, and then do like 4 or 5 hot laps around the track with the kids like hanging out the window screaming.
That's one of those times like now I feel like everyone is real safe and the kids have to like all be buckled up and like I remember falling out of the bed of a pickup truck on a dirt road because all of the kids were in the back. Like if
Yeah.
you fell out, you might fall out. You might skin up a knee, you might break a thumb off. Who knows? You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah.
That's that same shit. Like put the kids in the bus and hit some laps. They'll love it. What?
I was gonna ask him too. I mean, I wondered did they have to have like a sign a waiver before the kids get on the damn
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah.
But evidently
now
not,
it would
because
have
it looks
to
like they just
be
all
furniture.
just got up here and just
Yeah.
lined up and got on it.
And there's
Yeah.
like grandparents in the stands, like, oh boy, this will be good. Look at the kids lining up to get on them buses. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. But great guy, man. He's a real good guy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Cool dude, and real candid interview. Like he wasn't buttoned up, wasn't nervous or nothing. But I
Nah.
mean, fuck, he was on a HBO documentary. So.
That wasn't his first. I mean, I listened to some of them too.
Yeah, he's done a few other ones.
He's done a few of them, and he fucking hates HBO.
Oh man, yeah, he dropped some bombs on HBO.
Oh, for real? He was not happy with that end result.
Yeah. What he's like, it sounded like I think what you got was like a little let's take advantage of the Hicks in this little town in Indiana, and it sounded like allegedly, according to Sammy, like he did all the fucking legwork. Like they talked to him, said they were coming, and like
He got everything ready.
he told them who to follow. He got everybody together and was like, you need to ride around with this guy and you need to talk to this guy and this guy will be entertained. So pretty much just did like the director's job for him, where all he had to do was show up and turn on the cameras. And he's like, they didn't give me shit. He's like, I didn't get a fucking nickel off of that thing.
Yeah, he said that the only thing they done for him, they flew him to New York and they done like a premiere.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah. He's like,
And they
So he
fed
got
him
a-
supper 2 nights.
Right. He got a plane ticket and a room at the Sheraton.
yeah, and an open bar and a Q&A.
Oh my God. Damn, that does suck. Although I feel like that's one of those things where like if you say it's a documentary, y'all didn't see it, but I did like air quotes when I said documentary.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
You don't have to pay anybody because like, no, this is real life. These are not paid actors.
Yeah.
It sucks for the people in it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's and that's why I told, like, you watch the which is all fresh to me. I just watched the shit today. Like I had never seen it, and Terry's been hounding me for like a month. Like, you gotta watch it. And he's like, I think the phone's ready to go. We're gonna call Sammy today. And I was like, well, fuck, let me watch this documentary and see what it's all about. But the town's like, I mean, it was like dying. It was like dead. I had like typical Rust Belt shit, like everything closing down. And I'm like, that's what I told Sammy. I'm like, man, when you come and they blow smoke up y'all's asses about this show and do all this, I was like, that's fucking up the community, you know, doing you like that.
Yeah, damn. I do remember that. Like everything had shut down and people were either moving out or they were like, well, we're just going to stay here and figure something out.
Yep. And for all the people that never seen it, it's Dirty Driving, Thunder Cars of Indiana.
Yep.
Yeah, watch
That
that.
is-
That's
That is
a
a
damn good one.
it's kind of a slow starter, but it's actually it gets you entwined a little bit.
It does. Like, it grew on me because, like, I can honestly say, like, I was Christina didn't watch it with me. She's like in the living room watching TV, and like probably about 25 minutes in, like I hollered from like the back bedroom where I'm watching it, and I was like, "This is a pile of shit." I was like, I can't believe I'm fucking watching this bullshit. But it does, like, at the end, like, it kind of pulls you in, and it don't hurt like talking to Sammy. Like I've come away with a lot more respect for it after talking to him on the phone, because he's like a legit dude, and I was like, yeah, so it's not so bad.
Yeah. Is he still living up there, or what's the
He's
deal
still
with him?
there. He's working with Who did he say he was working with? But anyway, there are a bunch of plants and stuff.
Yeah, a
opened
bunch
up.
of stuff opened up back up there, but
And
it's
he's-
been like the Rust Belt revival for like a few years now. Like Detroit's trying to come back and all of that shit.
Yeah. Detroit, man, I missed the boat on that one. I should have started buying up foreclosed houses in Detroit a couple years ago.
Oh man,
Now,
I had an opportunity to buy 2 of them up there, but I
right?
didn't.
For like $3,000 a piece.
$10,000 for both of them.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And you know how much they're
And
selling
now
for
it's
right
starting
now?
to come back.
You know how much they're selling for right now?
Oh, depending on what's around them, if the techies have moved in, it's probably selling for like a couple $100,000.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn. See, why didn't we do that?
See, and why
We
didn't I
sat on
do
the back
that?
porch and drank beer instead. What the fuck were we thinking?
I know we should have just split a couple $1,000 a piece and went up there and just had our run with it.
Yeah.
Even if it just sat there and like didn't even go look at it or work on it for a couple years, like damn.
I would have never seen it.
Yeah.
You would have just held the title until someone bought it.
I would have seen a picture of it.
Yeah. You can't get hung up on that shit though. It's like the great Ron White told me years and years and years ago. I didn't get to where I am today by worrying about where I'd be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, where was that whenever we done that? We was going to do that shit about the damn, what's that, coin bit? That Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember we was going to do that shit at one time?
Talking about that
Yep.
cryptocurrency up in that
Man,
bitch.
they was selling it for $1 on $1. Now it's like $1 of Bitcoins is like $1,000.
Yeah, what if it jumps up and down? Like the guys, they're like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
got to
it's
get
all
into
over
it
the
and
place,
make
yeah.
all this money." It's like it's just like playing the show enough currency market. You got to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Some of those people made out like bandits. So you always hear, well, not always, but every once in a while you'll hear about someone who like, oh yeah, I got a little tax return and I bought like, 800 Bitcoin and I forgot about them and they just sat somewhere on a thumb drive. And then they check it now and like, well, that's worth 1.3 million. So that was cool.
Yeah,
That was a cool little investment. What?
Yeah.
yeah, and they'll fool the masses with that shit too. Because somebody, I don't remember if it was on Twitter or something I seen the other day. It was following Dan Bilzerian, and he had pinned a tweet or something about like, it's crazy to me how people are still middle class when there's just a golden ticket like cryptocurrency sitting around, but they're not motivated enough to get into it. And I'm like, first of all, asshole, I'm like, you probably bought $2 million worth of Bitcoin. I'm like, so if you get just half a return on your investment, you're making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But you know what though? His Instagram is fun to follow. I'm not gonna lie. He lives a life that I wouldn't mind having.
Oh
sometime.
yeah. He's like you have those times in life, like even if you're like a naturally nice guy, every now and then, whether it's like because of a chick or because of something somebody said or did, you're like, you know what? Tonight I'm just gonna get blackout drunk and be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But he's like doing that for life,
24/7.
and he's rich while he's doing it.
Yeah. Like you check. Like sometimes I get pissed off at Instagram because it's the best of everybody. Like
Yeah.
you're only gonna post the good shit, which is why I hadn't put a new picture up on Instagram for about 3 months. But like you'll check his and it'll be him and 8 chicks in bikinis boarding a private jet, and it'll just say like headed to the pick a place that I can't go to, and like, oh, that's what you do. It's Tuesday and I'm in my office. Like that's not
Yeah. He's just
that's
like,
not cool.
yeah, me and these dumb bitches are loading up and going to Antigua, and I'm bringing my rocket launcher with me for shits and giggles.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll swap shoes with him for a little while, even just for like a day, just to see what's up.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm definitely going to start like a ground roots movement with like billionaires, where it's like some Make-A-Wish shit for just like, poor middle class folks that are working their ass off every day. Like, let us come and fuck off for like a week, man. It's like, you ain't going to miss the money.
Like you're gonna be doing it anyway. Just let me tag along.
Exactly.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
Speaking of wish list and all that, have you crossed any more off your bucket list since the last time we talked?
Well, shit, no, that was only
That was
no,
at
no.
we I seen you in Chattanooga.
So that's been a couple years.
Yeah, that's been a couple years, and you had that suave.
I don't think I don't think so, but I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff that I put on a new bucket list, but like some of them are like like probably near the top of the list. It just says two chicks at the same time, and every time I read it, I just go back and watch Office Space. So you know,
Hell yeah,
it's not.
man.
And then the old dude says, "I don't think you need $1 million for that to happen." He's like, "No, yeah, you look like me, you do, or something like that, or the kind of chicks that would do me. That's gonna take $1 million.
Gotta have some dough, son.
Oh my god, classic. What would you do with $1 million? Two chicks at the same time, man.
Two chicks at the same time."
Yeah, old Rex Kwon Do in the flesh. Bow to your sensei.
Oh,
Yeah, that's good shit. No, but I need to update it. I gotta get back on that.
yeah, man. Yeah, you need to revisit the one that you told me, because that's
Oh,
one.
I'm
That's
worried. I don't know what I said.
it was girl and something about a number 18 and some other stuff.
You're gonna have to text me that one off.
You like, man, I crossed one off my bucket list. I was like, what is it? And you told me. I was like, well, man, that's like one of the ones like they don't just be like that forever. That's one that you got to keep on doing every year.
So it's a recurring bucket list item.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Every New Year's Day, it pops back up on the list.
Yeah.
that's right, because they don't stay that same age yet forever.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
What you got for us, man? You got anything else?
Yeah, let me think. Well, we talked about it on our podcast today, but my final thought for y'all is Anthony Joshua is a bitch.
Oh
got,
shit.
He got knocked down 4 times, and he's been running from fighting Deontay Wilder for a couple years, and now we all know why.
Yeah, exactly. Because
What should have been a fucking gimme, he lost.
man,
And he lost 4 belts in the process.
as much as sometimes he gets a little ahead of himself with a hot take, old Brendan Schaub hit that shit right on the head. He's like, this is what happens when the 3 best heavyweights in the world play grab ass. He's like, and don't give us the fight they want. One of them's bound to fuck up sooner or later. And he's like, and Anthony Joshua just did.
And you know what's weird to me is like, 2 days before that fight, Deontay Wilder posted the thing about the contracts are signed and we'll have a rematch, like Wilder Fury coming soon. And I was like, oh hell yeah, now we're talking. Like at least those two aren't bullshitting. And then sure enough, this weekend, old boy got he and you know what's weird? I watched the replays a bunch and he got a 10 count, then he got another 8 seconds, and then he basically said no, man, I don't want to do this anymore.
He fucking tapped right there at the end, bro. Like he looked at his corner like, I'm out, guys. And they didn't do him any justice with the commentators. They're like, he's looking at his corner, and I'm like, I think he's looking at him like going, nah, bro.
I'm done.
I'm out of here. And if Ruiz Jr. did that to him, he don't want no part of Deontay Wilder because motherfuckers die when he touches them.
It wouldn't even make it a half a round.
Fucking hard. Well, that's my final thought. My final thought is the British can't win wars and they can't win boxing matches.
That's it.
London town.
That's it. But I got one for you. Because we'll cross pollinate if you're coming at us with some fight talk. I'll come at y'all with some. I'm sorry. I've never been a huge fan or follower, but from what I've seen here lately on any sports highlight show, Drake has to be put in his fucking place and he has to be stopped. I don't care if he's homies with the whole Warriors team or not. And as much as I don't like Draymond Green, I would have loved for him just to knock him the fuck out right there courtside.
Well, I was talking about that last night. We were sitting around bullshitting, drinking at the house, and we were talking about I get it. I'm okay with like celebrities getting to do stuff that regular people can't do. Like
Right.
that's one of the perks. But like you can't like you're paying 20 grand for that seat and you're right next to the bench and like you get to put your feet on the floor, but like you aren't allowed to get up and walk up and down on the floor and like touch players and touch
No.
coaches. Like that's
Yeah.
off limits. You can't do that in football. You can't do that in baseball. Like, come on, man. You don't get to do that shit. Cut
No,
that
you
out.
you don't.
That's my only problem.
Yeah, you
Because
don't. You
you're
don't come
right.
into
If
the
he's gonna
world
do
at
that,
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
If he's gonna do all that kind of shit, and then like what if this was the Indiana Pacers in the early 2000s? Like, oh, they're gonna hit you.
Oh
They're
my
gonna come up
God.
into the stands and they're gonna swing on you.
I was watching it with Christina, and then like I didn't pull up the highlights so she could see it, but I was like, "What you need right here is," I said, "You've probably seen a guy that you're like, what the fuck?" Because his name's Meta World Peace. I'm like, but his
Yeah.
name used to be Ron
Yeah.
Artest, and I was like, some asshole at a Pacers game, like at the wasn't it at the Palace against the because it was Malice at the Palace against the Pistons. And that asshole threw beer on him and told him to fuck off. And Ron Artest went up there
like
to give him
4
that
rows
smoke.
up in the stand.
And he's like,
like-
"Oh, you want to be a man?" I was like, "That's what Drake needs. He needs that
Yeah.
reality check." I'm like, "You've been living in make believe rich rapper world for a
Yeah,
long
it's
time."
different.
It's like, but this is reality right here, son, where your money don't mean shit.
Yeah, I agree. I just have a problem with him. Like, you can, you could say whatever you want on social media. You can, wear whatever shirt you want to taunt. That was actually game 1 when he wore Steph Curry's dad's Raptors
The
shirt.
Dale Curry
Oh,
Raptors.
man.
That was
That
a
was-
pretty dope move.
That was good. I like that. But like, man, you can't be like
But
touching
he's
players.
he's
Just don't.
still like, I've never, not being so involved in the hip hop world, like I still like, I mean, I see a little bit like on the periphery here and there with some of these guys, but like when Drake like first burst onto the scene, I'm like, yeah, some of his stuff sounds okay. I'm like, but ain't that the fucking kid from Degrassi? I'm like,
Yeah.
you ain't
Yeah.
you ain't, it's like fucking Cedric the Entertainer on Be Cool. That's not gangsta. That's not gangsta. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's really fucking coming at him hard with his Dale Curry jersey on. He also has a strategically placed sweatband on his bicep to cover up his fucking Steph tattoo that he's got on his arm. And I'm like, you ain't fucking fooling nobody, man. You are such a bandwagon fucking ball hanger if there ever was one.
Like, congratulations on being a big star, but also like you're still like wheelchair Jimmy from Degrassi. Like, don't
Exactly.
get it twisted.
What you need to happen that will never happen is a stone cold killer like Kawhi just to like come at him and give him like the cut it out throat cut and be like, hey man, we don't need your shit here, so
like,
you can go back to rooting for
sit down.
whoever else.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I'm all right with the trolling. You can do whatever you want online, but don't. Yeah, man. Sit down. Watch the game.
Don't bring that shit to the court, because sooner or later it's gonna fucking bite you. You can just ask Spike Lee about that when Reggie Miller proved that shit. When everybody's like, Spike's got the whole town on his back. He's the biggest Nick ever, and then they realize that shit's like gas on a fire to old Reggie Aloysius, and they're like, okay, Spike, we're gonna need you to shut the fuck up and quit talking to Miller when he's out there.
Yeah, you need to cut that out, Spike. Sit down with your orange glasses on.
That's Reggie Miller for people that don't know about there.
Yeah.
Reggie Aloysius.
Reggie Aloysius Miller. But that's because didn't Reggie say like when he's been asked about the Spike shit, he's like, oh man, he's like, I grew up feeding on that shit. He's like, man, as good as my sister was at basketball, he's like, all the shit talking I heard from her my whole life, he's like, it just makes me better when I have to listen to it or hear it.
There you go.
Oh man.
Well, all right, Frankie.
But
All
yeah.
right, well, y'all wrap it up, and I'm gonna go find some more mud puddles before it gets dark out here.
All right, man. Appreciate it. That's Frank with Alabamarado.
That's right. Your
Add
favorite.
me on Twitter, and I'll talk shit to whoever.
Yeah, check him out on Alabamarado. Good talkings.
All right, we'll holler at you.
See you,
All
man.
right, see you, Frank.
Bye.
Oh, that was good to talk to old Frankie Frank.
Yep, old Frank Furter.
Oh,
The
Basically-
main doo-doo stain.
the main doo-doo stain. Every time I always see him, I always want to go, all right, Frankie.
All right, Frankie. Okay, USA.
Yeah. Pretty good old fella, man. Me and him go way back.
Yep. Frank's a cool cat. I like
Yeah.
Frank. Good combo. Good time. Can't believe you hit us with some damn fight talk.
I know,
Out
right?
of all people, all them times we'll be talking about that shit with Grant, and he's just got to check the fuck out because he's like, I don't give a shit about that shit.
They
He
just don't
gonna hit me with an Anthony Joshua final thought.
But it ain't MMA.
It's
a little different.
that is true. That is
That's
true.
little, what's you call mainstream fighting.
Yeah, and he's all on the social medias, and that's all it's been all weekends. Everybody talking about, I can't believe Anthony Joshua got beat the fuck up.
Yeah. So, but yeah. All right. So you got anything closing?
Pretty much. I think we hit everything. Check out Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana. Anthony Joshua's a punk, and fuck Drake. I think that pretty much sums up the shit.
And check out Alabamarado.
Yep. Check out Alabamarado. Check out at Alabamarado on Twitter, and check out the Forealdo show, and check us out on Twitter at ForealdoS, and hit us up with thoughts and questions and
Anything when we check it before we come on the air. So if y'all got anything,
what does
we'll
old Hardwick call it? Quiments.
yeah, we will read y'all's questions
Oh yeah.
on the internet.
Yep. What you want to hear us talk about? I mean, just if you got any ideas.
If you got questions about us,
Yeah, if you got any ideas, I mean, Terry works 9 to 5, and I work 5 to 9 every
here
day.
we go. Here we go.
So we need all the help we can get putting this damn show together.
It's actually 7 to 5, sir.
Oh, excuse me.
With no lunch.
With no, like me neither. Me
Yeah.
neither. Lunch is for pussies. We ain't
Yeah.
got time for all
Hey
that.
man, I done that shit for 6 years.
Yeah.
Not as long as you have, but
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
Whew, mercy me. And that also leads me to get outside and get in the water. Go fishing.
Yeah.
Take your wife fishing. Take your kids fishing. Take your mama fishing.
Take your daddy fishing.
Take your daddy fishing. Take your daddy's daddy fishing.
Yeah, you greasy granny
Yeah.
with holes in her
Just
pants.
pretty much go buy some fucking bait and go fishing.
It's too hot, man.
For the love of Pete.
For the love of Jesus.
Yep, but it's hey man, it's been fun. It's been real.
It's been for real, though.
It has been for real, though. We appreciate y'all taking the ride with us. We hope we put together a juicy one for you.
Yeah, I hope y'all enjoy and catch us next week.
That's it. On the flippity flop.
Flippity floppity.
Mm-hmm.
See y'all.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Barbara Streisand.